Okay, hi Allie. Hi whoever else might be watching. This is my pitch for anniversary night. For the pre-show. So instead of going with a really crazy, like over academic, like overcomplicated kind of thing, this time I'm actually going with something that's like fairly simple and kind of in the vein of what we've done for several of the anniversary nights before, in that it's very musical driven, like kind of like it would be in a musical or something. Okay, so it starts out and we have Sister Sledge, We Are Family. So this is the beginning part. And while this beginning chorus is playing, we have the time warp being done, picking up from where the criminologist actually pulls down the board that shows how to do the time warp. And so you have all the players that are normally in the time warp. Okay, now as we pick up with this verse, this is Frank. And this is Frank in. Okay, so that that verse, that's Frank in sweet tea attire. So this is Frank in sweet tea attire doing this. While Frank's doing that, anyone who wants to except for the people who are doing the time warp people have moved off to the wings. Anyone who is not off to the wings because they are doing the time warp, so crew, security, other people who are on cast, new people who don't have costumes yet, etc. and so on. Seamstresses, although I don't think there are any who aren't on cast right now, but like let's say like Aaron wanted to show back up, whoever, they are all carrying signs, and I'm talking about very simple signs made out of poster boards that say "Help me, mommy," "Sense," and their year. So if I were just security and I were not a performer, my sign would say, I'm security that night, so if I were to do it, my sign would say, "Help me, mommy, sense," and it would have my year. If Donnie was not the magenta in that scene, if Rachel was the magenta in that particular scene, then Donnie's would say, "Help me, mommy, sense."
I don't know. That's what it would say. That's what the sign was.
Okay. I think technically his would say, "Help me, mommy," since
I don't know.
He says it would say, "Help me, mommy," since I don't know. I think by definition it would say, "Help me, mommy," since 2014. But if you went by the books, I don't know for sure. But like, however, whatever it would say. I can't really use mine as an example either, because I don't know if mine would say "Help me, mommy" since 2010, because that's what I would define myself as. Anyways, so people are going back and forth, but the central feature is this Frank, in the sweet tea outfit dancing to this. Now you notice that the chorus is picked back up. At this point, all of the time warp players have come back out. The Frank has stepped aside. The time warp starts again, and it is the same time warp players are back out there. So you've got, your Brad, your Janet, your Magenta, your Columbia, Krim, and all of them, and they're doing the time warp one more time. Now this time, keep in mind this pitch is actually going to be longer than the song. Okay, so this time, and this is the last one, this verse, this time what you have is, instead of the same Frank, you have the end Frank. You have I'm going home Frank. And ideally, you have a different person playing the I'm going home Frank. And during this, you have all the time warp players now have their signs. Help me, mommy, sense. Insert their years. And you have all of the people who had their signs before. And you have that sweet tea Frank has his or her sign. So everyone except for the I'm going home Frank,
who should already have had their sign.
Yeah, who could have had a sign the first time around. Well, no, actually, that person wouldn't have, because the only people who had signs the first time were people who were not in costume.
Okay.
So everybody except for the I'm going home Frank, who is participating, now has their signs. Help me, mommy, sense. And they are going back and forth, kind of like walking across, and the I'm going home Frank is dancing. And on that one, on Get Up Everybody and Sing, that's where it stops. At that point, someone has handed the I'm going home Frank their sign from the back, someone who doesn't want to be out front. So they have my Help Me Mommy Sense sign. And on the main screen, it says Help Me Mommy at the Art Theater since 2008 or something like that. Now, this pitch has gone on for almost 9 minutes. The song has gone on at that point for not quite 3 minutes. This is short. This is not hard. It does not require extra costuming. It requires 2 Franks who have standard costumes and 1 set of people who can do the time warp who have standard costumes. So, hope you will consider my pitch. Thank you for listening.